Welcome. We're here with Marc from Den Hull. Famous from the Van den Hull cables, pickup elements, phono stages, amplifiers.
Amplifiers as well, yes. Most of the
Even
people
more?
know us from cartridges and cables.
Yeah, probably.
And that's where it all started,
Yeah.
of course, with my father and I also wanted to say our father because we are with the three of us as a second generation in the company.
Yeah.
And that's where it all started in the 70s, 80s, where our father thought that if he would have another needle or type of needle that he would also get a better sound quality.
Yeah.
And he was right with that, and then he invented the same.
That's the different shape of
The elliptical
needle.
shape, of the needle.
Yeah, you can see that in the presentation. It's unfortunately in Dutch, but we posted it, and maybe YouTube is kind enough to translate it to English for you.
The auto translate works pretty okay.
Yeah,
I
it's pretty okay.
just checked it.
So you can check the presentation.
And after cartridges and cables, we came up with electronics
Yeah.
to make the whole range complete. And that's why we're here for today, if I am
the
correct.
new Phono stage.
The new Phono stage, the Grail SX. And Munich 2022, we spoke each other as well.
Yeah.
And we showed over there the concept.
Yes.
And the
True.
initial plan was
Is
to...
it already 2 years ago?
Almost 2 years ago,
Wow,
yes.
Time flies.
And we had the intention to launch the product the same year, but with everything what happened in the meantime...
Stuff happened in the world.
Stuff happened in the world, unfortunately.
Yeah.
There was some delay on the presentation or the final product.
Yeah.
And we were able to introduce it last year.
Yeah.
And today we are showing it as well downstairs at our distributor.
Yeah, it's not really new. There probably maybe you can lift the veil from some new stuff that's about to come, but it's playing downstairs. I must admit, it's dead silent. And you said something about auto...
There's an automatic load impedance, on it, correct,
That's interesting.
And we had it on the previous model as well, and if you compare this model to our previous top-end model, the Grail SE, we revamped the board, so it's a new board. It's not the same board with an upgrade, but if you compare the next board of the both PCBs to each other, it's a totally different product. We kept some features of it, like the automatic load impedance, so you don't have to decide anymore if you want, let's say, 100 ohms, 320, 470 or 1000 ohms.
It just auto-detects.
It auto-detects it, it measures it himself within, it's less than a second. I always say milliseconds.
Really?
And officially we gave up from 10 till 400 ohms, but it goes from 2 till 2000 ohms.
Really?
If that's so, yeah.
Oh wow. That's pretty convenient because I remember from my photo stage test we did a while back that it's always guessing like which setting will be the best. Some specify it.
Yeah, the unwritten rule is multiply the load impedance of the cartridge by 10. So,
oh really?
Yeah. So if you have a 10 ohm cartridge, then 100 ohm should be what's best, but it's also subjective.
Okay, well, I learned something today.
Yeah. And we took that away from end users.
Yeah.
And sometimes we get questions about it. Where is my load impedance? No, it isn't anymore. It's automatic.
You don't need to.
Maybe the downside can be that if you prefer to get another sound of it, because if you go higher in impedance, you will lose a bit in the highs. Will get a bit warmer.
True.
What is good and what is what you like, but that's hi-fi.
Yeah, that's what I noticed. I had too much treble or less treble, and it's all impedance related. And you can tweak it to your likings.
Yeah.
Not with the Grail.
Not with the Grail. The only thing you can change is the gain on the MM and MC.
Yeah. Well, that makes.
But that makes sense. Yeah.
That makes sense.
With the previous model, you couldn't go, let's say, unbalanced in and balanced out, but it's now full symmetric, so you can combine all the cables together on what you still have.
Okay, cool.
Full bandwidth.
Yeah.
And
what would be the thing that it sets apart from the rest? I mean, Van den Hull is really a phono brand with needles and dozens of phono cables you can choose from. There's a cable for everyone, I think, if I look at the listings. But what sets this phono stage apart from other phono stages?
It's maybe the same as you wrote in our CNT review. There's no sound.
There is no sound.
There is no sound. It doesn't color the sound of any cartridge.
No.
It's just unfiltered.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking out loud on your question.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
It makes every cartridge sounding great.
Yeah.
Despite the quality of the cartridge, of course, but from every cartridge you will unleash the full potential of it, no matter what you have, from entry level to high end. But of course, it's a Phono preamplifier with an MSRP of almost 25,000. So
it's not cheap.
It's not cheap. So you also need to. We would recommend to get a cartridge. A very good cartridge to unleash the full potential of it. Yeah. Because with an entry level, it will still sound great, but the combination is not common.
Yeah, that's like what I said with the CNT. You need a system that can unleash the potential of the cable as well. I mean, the CNT, for what I've heard, doesn't have any color. It's I don't know the title, but I think I said something like it's fucking good.
Yeah, it was calm, neutral, and terrific.
Oh yeah, well in Dutch it was a little bit more to the point.
It was to the point, but we Dutchies are normally pretty straightforward.
Yeah, I thought maybe for Google it indexes better with something not like beep. But it's an amazing cable, but your system needs to unleash that potential as well. I mean, if you connect it to a Sonos speaker, you won't hear the potential of the cable.
True, and with such price point on such a Phono preamp, it's a different league.
Yeah,
it's not a common league because.
Are there any competitors in that price range? I'm not really into Phono stages.
I know Silvertone has their entry level on that price point. CH Precision. Also, of course, there are some who are operating at a price point, but it's not a lot. Later on this year, there will be an unbalanced model of it.
Yeah.
In other words, the new Grail, normal Grail, will be introduced this year.
Okay, cool.
And we'll have the same form factor as the previous Grail, same size.
Yeah.
But also in full aluminium, like the Grail SX, the top model.
Yeah, it's lighter. People, it's 7 kilograms lighter.
The SX, it's. I just told you before the interview. The previous one had a thick aluminium upper plate, aluminium thick steel plate. Yeah. But the whole chassis was made from steel. Yeah. But in total, the Phono preamp was around 20 kilograms. So. Yeah. Yes, a heavy thing, and when we pay a high price for something, it's
you want it to be heavy.
It needs to be heavy because that's good.
Yeah.
But with the current one, we went to full aluminium block and an unscrewable upper plate. Yeah. Yeah. But saves 7 kilo, which makes it much more easy to carry around when you go to exhibitions.
For you people, it's a lot better. Yeah,
I think we are the guys who are carrying most up and down on the stair with grills and electronics.
Yeah. And eventually it will just be in your hi-fi rack, so you don't need to measure it anymore. It's fine.
You only need to carry it once to your hi-fi rack, and that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
But that was not the purpose to make a lighter. No, not because we were struggling with it up and down on the stairs.
Aluminum has different characteristics than metal, of course.
As in sound, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's steel is better against RF. Mm-hmm. So that was also a thing to think about, but.
Yeah, you need to do it in terms of shielding. You probably did something else. I didn't open it up, but the thing with phono preamps, of course, is that they're very, very sensitive because your amplification is like 60, 70 times. Maybe more even, I don't know. So every form of noise in there will be amplified enormously. But I guess you paid attention to it.
We paid attention to it, and downstairs we can turn up the volume pretty hard, but there's no noise at all. So
no, now there's no joke. I was looking if it was streaming or vinyl.
Yeah.
It's that silent. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and spec-wise, specs don't say everything, as you know. We both like to talk with each other. about
all sorts of stuff.
All sorts of stuff. So sometimes we call with each other for a short thing, and then we end up with a phone call of 1.5 hours, and then we're both like, oh yeah, but a lot of things to do.
Yeah.
Spec-wise, it has a signal noise ratio over 80 dB, but it's pretty good, but doesn't say anything about music and all the things.
But I thank you for your time, because I have another interview with Reed, vinyl related. I'm not a vinyl guy, so this is hard.
it's different market, but
it's different. Yeah, definitely different. Yeah. But thank you for your insights in the new Grail.
You're welcome.
A tip of the feel for the new Grail.
New one later on this year.
Price, you know already a little bit.
I was already I can give a sort of price. I just at the office I joke, it's half of the inputs and outputs you get, so maybe we should also do half of the price of the current one.
Yeah, so that's around 13k.
13k, yeah.
13k. Yeah. Well, that's for a lot of people, they will jump in the air. Yay.
It's a jump over the previous one, but that's also partly due all the racing costs.
The whole world is getting more expensive, and I feel the pain of every producer, because every component, metal, everything gets ridiculously expensive.
It is what it is.
So no choice, but thanks again.
Thank you.
See you.
Thanks for your time.
Yes.